Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. We're back for another update video, I guess you could call this, where we'll be going through everything that was added in update 1.32, more easily referred to as the Super Formula update. Now because Super Formula cars are expensive, I didn't buy any of the new Super Formula cars, the Honda or the Toyota, at the time of recording the video, because the championship, or the races rather, it's not a championship in Gran Turismo terms, does still allow the older Super Formula cars to compete, but all of our opponents will be the newer 2023 model cars. Ours is the 2019 version, but as you can see, we've got the Red Bull Honda livery on the car, and I've made a few little changes just to make it a little more Super Formula friendly, such as Yokohama tires, etc. So that is our livery that will be running, but we've got a menu book associated with the three Super Formula races that were added in this update, and we will be heading to Fuji Speedway, then Watkins Glen, which I'm guessing is kind of meant to be like IndyCar, you know, open wheel is in America, I don't know. And then finally Saint Croix, which is not a real circuit, but will be an interesting race nonetheless. So yeah, it's kind of interesting because there are more Super Formula circuits in the game. Logically we would go to Fuji, Suzuka and Autopolis, I suppose. Fairly certain Super Formula goes to all of those places, but anyway, that is not the case. We are going around the world with these Super Formula cars, which I think have, I'm not sure if they've ever left Japan actually. That might be something interesting to look into at some point, but anyway, the first one we're going to do is at Fuji Speedway, so let's just get straight into it and see how this goes. As we get underway, as you can see, a long race, 15 laps ahead as we go for the move down the inside into turn 1, and we will get the move done and move ourselves up one position into 19th. So there's a lot of work for us to do in these races as we continue to work our way through the opening lap through turns 2 and 3. And this long sweeping right-hander, it's going to take me a little bit to get used to the handling of these cars. Again, they are very, very quick, among the fastest open wheelers outside of Formula 1. So yeah, this is going to be very fast race, despite you know, having a lot of laps. It won't take too long as we go for the move down the inside and move ourselves up. We're still fighting this one out side by side, and we actually can't get that one done, so good little bit of racing here as we drop ourselves into a P18. So this, as always, in the second half of the lap at Fuji Speedway is where I'm going to struggle a little bit more, but we're really trying to get this move done. Eventually we will up into P17, so a few places gained on the first lap. Let's hope that we can continue this forward through the rest of the race. But like I said, there's a lot of work to do here, and relatively slow progress at the start, it does have to be said. But given that everyone is the same speed in essentially the same cars, as we're catching up to the next couple, big lunge down the inside, we shouldn't have to worry about, you know, just one or two cars escaping off up the road, like what happened in the Porsche race last time, where, you know, there was that one car that was just way faster than everything else. We shouldn't have that issue here in this one, but we do still have to contend with our own driving, which is our own worst enemy at the moment. Is it weird that I always say ow instead of my, or is that a normal thing? I just kind of noticed it then, that I always say that. But anyway, we continue on. I like to be inclusive here. You're with me watching, and you know, I was going to say you're in the back seat. There is no back seat. Watching on from the garage. Yeah, I don't know where that was going. But anyway, let's focus back on the race, because we have a couple of cars in front of us that need some overtaking done to them, as we have a little look. Not really anything we can do there. We'll just stay on the racing line, and we'll maybe go for the move into the final corner. There we go, lunge up the inside, overtake done, try and get a nice run on the exit. Didn't really get the momentum right through there at all, but we're up into 13th position nonetheless. Good bit of slipstream along the straight, and that moves us up another couple of spots into P11. So we've overtaken approximately half the field in the race so far, and we'll see if we can get some more positions here. They've gone 3 wide, and just decided to back out of that one and go again as we are getting good run on the exit. We should be able to get all of these places, looking from right to left there, down the inside into turn 2, and again, oh, far out. That was a little bit close, and we'll slot in behind those two and into P10. So I didn't quite make the most of the opportunity there as we go for the move down the inside, and we make that move stick. Turn 2 is a very tricky corner to try to make that overtake down the inside. I always misjudge the braking point, as has happened twice in this race so far. But anyway, we're up into 8th position now with those couple of overtakes, and we'll see if we can catch up to the next group of cars. And sure enough, it doesn't take too long to get the next car in sight, and we'll make that move straight away down the inside, and we'll get that move done through the left-hander, and we'll see if we can get a run on the next couple of cars. We're pretty close, so we might be able to make some overtakes into the final few complexes as we go down the inside into the chicane. Little bit of contact there. We'll see if we can switch it back and get a nice run on the exit around the outside, and that is not quite going to be move made yet. We're going to have to fight this one out a little bit, but we get through, move ourselves up into the top 5 now, as we get a little bit too hot into there, but we get away with it, and now through the final corner we're into 4th position. So a good lap there, gaining a lot of places on that one, as we already have the next group of cars in sight just up the straight, and we'll be maybe making the move. Should be over on the left, getting the slipstream. I'm not sure what I'm doing at this particular moment, but anyway, here we go. Finally decided to get some of that slipstream, and down the inside of that one car running on its own here at the moment. But we're up into 3rd position now, so onto the podium places after just 5 laps, onto that 5 right now actually, in the race so far. But we'll see. The top 2 have skipped away, just like I said wouldn't happen, and now we've been re-overtaken. So I'm still struggling with the second corner there as we go back around the outside into the left-hander. We should be able to hold on to this from now, but yeah, it's not going to all go our way necessarily. And on we go again then, and we have 2nd place in sight, and straight away the move down the inside into the left-hander, and we get that done in the middle sector there. We're up into P2 now, and we've already got the leader in sight up the road, but we'll see if we can get this move done. Purple sectors up to this point as we work our way through the final sector, so we're still finding improvements throughout our own laps, but that could also just be the reducing amount of traffic towards the front of the field as we head now through the final sector, and we're just starting to close into the race leader. We might be able to think about a move into the first corner if we get a good enough run here and get into the slipstream on the straight. We're actually doing it this time, and now we've already got some good momentum along here, and that's actually a very easy pass. I don't know if because we do have the older Super Formula car, I don't know if it's faster in a straight line. Surely it's not that much faster, because yeah, they are very slow. But anyway, we'll see. The fact that the event allows you to use both would suggest that they're not particularly different. But anyway, I'm not sure. But regardless, we're up into the race lead now, and we still have quite a few laps to go. We continue on again then onto the 10th lap of the race, and you can see the tyres are not having a great time at this phase of the race. I really should come into the pits and get a new set of tyres on, because look in the bottom left, the left side tyres are both fully worn, and it won't be long before that right rear goes as well. The right front is really the only tyre that's still in any kind of good condition, and yeah, they will not go much further in this race, and traction is becoming a real problem. But you know, sort of having to weigh it up, because you know, only 5 laps to go after this. Is it actually worth coming into pits and getting a new set of tyres, or is that just going to cost us more time than it will save? I don't know, because I feel like at the moment I'm on the edge of having a crash, so it might be worth bringing it in. We'll see as we head towards the start of the next lap, and looks like we are not going to be coming into the pits this time around. We're just going to keep it going on the old tyres. As we continue on, then you can see now the right rear tyre has gone as well, so we now only have one functioning tyre on this car as we make our way through the 12th lap of the race. So it's only becoming increasingly more difficult to control this thing, as we get it very sideways there and a full spin through the final sector, and we'll get this pointed in the right direction again, but that is going to soak up most of the lead that we had made throughout the earlier few laps, and we might be under pressure in the closing stages, because the others are lapping a little bit faster than me at the moment, from what I can tell. So yeah, the race could be well and truly back on here as we begin lap 13. We move on to the final lap of the race then, and our lead has shrunk even further. So we are really in trouble here at the end of this one, and we're going to have to make sure we get through this final lap without incident if we want to hold on to this, because at this point we do not have much margin for error with the pack closing up. So let's hopefully be able to navigate this one. Hello Mount Fuji, how are you doing today? Anyway, back on focus. We get through the first half of the lap okay. That's the easy half. Now we have to deal with the more difficult half of the track. The right front tyre is still looking alright, the rest of them absolutely awful as we head into the chicane, and at a snail's pace through there. That was awful, and now we are really just taking it very, very easy, making sure we don't make any mistakes through this final section. The worst thing we can do is spin, so that is what I'm trying to avoid more than anything as we get through the final left-hander, and just the final corner to go as we turn right for the final time and line it up onto the straight. A long race, but we will just about hold on another couple of laps, and we might not have had this, but it's going to go our way this time, and that is a race victory here at Fuji, and that is a nice way to kick things off. That race, I will say, did actually take me a couple of attempts to get that done, so good to get that one in the books, and we can move on to the next one, 3-star roulette ticket, which I didn't actually record spinning that one, but it's not particularly important. At this stage, 3 stars is basically the lowest we ever see now. Anyway, yeah, okay, let's try that again. We move on to the second race at Watkins Glen, and we will see how this goes. You know, I always thought Watkins Glen was kind of backwards. Like Glen Watkins would make more sense, but anyway, I know it's the name of the place, but you know, it's kind of just sounds like a name written backwards. But anyway, let's see what happens in this one as we send it over the curbs. Very rough there, and we don't even get it stopped for the second half of the bus stop. So that didn't quite go to plan as we leave the NASCAR version of the circuit, go on to the longer extension, and we'll get a nice little sneaky move done there. We've actually got a penalty though to serve for our little shenanigans a few corners ago, and that might drop us back a little bit. We'll see as we cross the penalty line. Looks like we're actually going to get away with that for the most part as we head into the right-hander hairpin corner there onto the next little short shoot between the extended circuit back onto the NASCAR layout, and now we will go for the move down the inside, and we should be able to get the move done there, up one more position. And after the first lap, where once again, as we're banging wheels there, I was going to say up into 17th, but we're going to gain a few more here on the run to the line, and we're actually up all the way into 14th position, maybe third. Okay, that didn't quite go to plan, and we're just going to keep this momentum going as we're surfing off the road there, and we will grab P12, sneaking it up the inside through the little S section there and onto the back straight. Once again, we're up into P12 now, so it's been a fairly good opening lap and a bit as we go a little bit too deep into the chicane that time. Not sure if we'll get away with that one or not. No, we're going to get another penalty for that one there as well. As we continue on to the end of lap 2, we do get the run on the next group of cars along the main straight. We'll move ourselves up into the top 10 here as we make the move down the inside, as we try and squeeze it through on the inside there. We do eventually get that move done up into 10th position with the next car not too far up the road. Next few cars right there as well. So we should be able to get a few more overtakes done in the next few corners. A little bit of a shorter race in this one in terms of number of laps. 12 laps here at Watkins Glen as we are sending it through there, and that has not gone to plan at all. And we come barging back onto the racetrack, and looks like we're just going to continue, and we get away with it. We don't get a penalty for that one, which is probably the most horrible thing we've done at that chicane all race, and that's saying something. So anyway, I'll take it. I'm not sure how that works. We gained several places off the road there, but regardless, we've been able to continue on, and we're all the way up into the top 5 now. So things going very well so far, as we got a little bit wide there, but won't cost us any positions. As we continue on through the race, we catch up to P4. We go for the move down the inside, and we actually can't get it done there. We go for the move into the final corner, and there we get the overtake done into P4. As we continue to work our way through, and we should be able to make another couple of overtakes here, as we are in very close proximity to the podium, actually onto it and into second position there. As we pause for a moment, not sure why, but anyway, we are up into P2 with only the race leader ahead. But I have a feeling this race will go very similar to the previous, where we will need to be watching our tyre wear later on. Alrighty, that actually took a while, but we do catch up to the race leader eventually, and they had, I think, a 10-second lead at the time we cut away, so it did take us a bit of time to cut down that margin, but we'll make the move and get ourselves up into first place now, as we just focus on getting to the end of the race. Tyre wear looks just as awful as it did in Fuji. Anyway, so we move on to the final lap of the race, and we were untroubled for the rest of this one. Tyre wear was just as bad, if not worse, than it was at Fuji. At least here we have a tiny bit left on the right rear, but the right front looks more worn, I think, just from memory. But still, we were able to hold on with minimal mistakes, no spins, and that gave us a much larger winning margin than what we had back at Fuji. So that's the second race ticked off the list, and we move on to race number 3 at Circuit de Saint-Croix B layout. So this is different to what we did at the end of the first season of Trans Am, but it does share certain parts of the layout, but that's not going to be particularly useful to us, especially because I think this was recorded first. So anyway, we will see how this goes, as we're still running down in last position at the moment, not able to do anything into the first corner, and we'll see if we can make a move somewhere through this section. Not able to do anything quite yet, so as we continue to race on, we'll have to get some overtakes done at some point if we want to make our way forwards through the field, and we do manage to slither through there, and went out onto the bridge already quite early in the lap. And this of course was on the layout that we used in Trans Am, as we're making a whole heap of positions here over the bridge and now into the braking zone, this left-hander, and we managed to move ourselves all the way up into P16 here. So it's been a good start to the race despite the lack of track knowledge, and I will say once again, did not do this one on the first attempt. But anyway, as we are really quick in a straight line, that trend continues. Could just be the AI setting as well. I do have it turned down for these because I'm not particularly good at driving these Super Formula cars. But anyway, we are chasing down the group of cars ahead once again, as we're heading through this very fast sequence of corners that basically just cut across to the finish line, and or through this last straight, and into the final corner that leads on to the finish line. Tried to make a gap on the outside there, but did not find any luck, and we got a little boxed in there. But we're up now into 8th position at the end of the first lap, so we've made good progress. We've got another car just up the road, so we will stay on board, as we are in a very fast section of the circuit here. We should be able to gain some time, as we've actually got a couple of cars up the road, so we could get up to P6 in a moment as we continue to race these two up towards the next corner. And it's a little bit tricky to get through here, as we make a little bit of contact, but we'll make our way around the outside bit sideways there, as I think we got tagged. Not sure, but either way, got us sideways. And now as we head over the bridge, we are focusing on P6 right in front of us, and not able to do anything into the left-hander. They carry good speed through the corners, and it's really the straights where we are a little bit faster in the top end, and the high-speed corners as well. But through the sort of lower speed corners, I do seem to actually lose out a little bit. But a good run along the straight, and or up and into P6. It takes a bit of time to catch up to the next group of cars, but here we are, and about to head through this long sweeping right-hander again, carrying good speed this time, but nowhere to go. But we'll still get the run on the exit to make a few positions along the straight purple sector there, as we are on to the 3rd lap of the race, and now still fighting it out currently for 3rd position, as we will try and make the dive down the inside. Not able to do it there, and we'll stay behind for the time being. Very slow through there actually, as we are all over the place on the exit. But we now head through these all these fast flowing corners, and we'll see if we can start gaining a bit of time back. They're very quick through here as well though, as we head up towards the final corner. Will we be able to take the podium place away here as we run through the final corner and get into the slipstream for the start finish straight? And we should be able to get this overtake done. We don't end up setting a personal best there on the 3rd lap of the race. So we're going backwards. Our fastest lap was actually our first. So yeah, the race is going absolutely fantastic so far. We are doing the opposite of learning as we continue to race on. 2nd place not far up the road, so we will stay on board and see if we can catch up as we head through this sequence of sort of ever tightening corners onto the bridge, and now a little bit wide on the exit there. Not too bad though, and we're trying to just inch ourselves closer to the group ahead, but it is not really working, and we're quite evenly matched through the first half of the lap, But now into the next section. Hopefully we should be able to get a good run through this long sweeping right-hander, as we usually tend to do. Slight contact with the inside wall, but we still carry good momentum on the exit. Good slipstream there as well. And now we're purple as we take the lead here on the back straight and move ourselves up into first place. We continue on to the end of the race then, and once again no one really troubled us for the rest of the race, although they did start to catch up again, but not enough to get back into the fight. I did actually try these races on the next difficulty up, but I just couldn't keep up at all, so it's a little bit frustrating that there's no middle ground, at least for me, but that's the way it goes. I think our tyres might be in the worst condition they've ever been at the end of this one, but they've made it to the end just about. Once again, the right front, the only tyre with any tread left on it. But there we have it. That is the third Super Formula race ticked off the list, and we'll get a shiny 6-star roulette ticket for our troubles after that one. So it is all very nice. And show me it. There it is, the little ticket with all 3 races complete. Congratulations, I've got a present for you. Be sure to come by and pick it up. Which is a strange thing to say because he gives it to us straight away. But anyway, there it is, all menu books completed so far. There's probably going to be more added in future updates, but we'll see. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, we'll go and get this 6-star roulette ticket sorted out, and we'll see what our prize is for this one. And yeah, hopefully it is something good. So here we go, 6-star roulette ticket. What are we gonna get? As it spins around, we're gonna get a car. I'm not exactly sure what it is. RAF CTR3 apparently. I think I've already got one of those actually. I don't think I've driven it too much, or potentially not at all, but I do believe I have a RAF already. So yeah, that's not particularly helpful, though it is quite valuable. So that is something, and we can sell the old one, which has done quite a few miles or kilometers, but the mileage is quite high. So yeah. Actually, that's a good point. Why don't we say kilometerage in Australia instead of mileage? But anyway, we clearly got that from the used car dealership at some point with that kind of mileage on it. So anyway, it's time for a menu book, and the one we are going to be checking out today is this one right here, the Shelby menu book. And yeah, we'll see what this is all about. As we can see, a 6-star roulette ticket is the reward for this one. Congratulations, you've got all 3 cars. This completes your Shelby collection. Once you've collected your presents, I've got some stories to tell you about these cars. I wonder how many times I've said that sentence. Anyway, there it is. Collection Shelby completed. And a 6-star roulette ticket. Now, let's see what we can learn about these cars. The name of the Shelby brand comes from an American man named Carroll Shelby. Shelby worked his way up from the amateur leagues to become a racing legend, competing in F1 and Le Mans. He is also famous as one of America's most cherished racing car designers. One of Shelby's great achievements as a designer began in 1961 when he ordered a racing car chassis from Britain's AC Cars, fitted with a Ford V8 engine. This creation became known as the Shelby Cobra. He dominated the sports car races of the 1960s, becoming a legend in the American racing scene. The most celebrated of all Shelby's Cobras, though, is the 427 Cobra. With a new 7-litre V8 engine in the classic era robust body, it snatched the podium in numerous races. Besides the Cobra, Shelby also transformed the Ford Mustang into a high-performance muscle car. The most well-known model is this 1965 Shelby GT350, a homologation car developed to dominate the circuit. With a 289 cubic inch or 4.7 litre V8 engine, this masterpiece turned the Mustang into an irreplaceable classic. Carroll Shelby sadly passed away in 2012, but his legacy and his spirit live on. You can see this in cars like the 2016 Ford Shelby GT350R, which took the already nimble Mustang, made it lighter, and tuned the whole car from the engine to the chassis to make it a true Shelby. Carroll Shelby, the man who helped the Ford GT40 conquer Le Mans in the 1960s. This wonderful collection will show you his extraordinary passion for cars and enthusiasm for racing. Oh, okay, that's finished. I have a sore throat now. Alrighty, on to the rest of the video. We have a roulette ticket to spin after that one, and of course, as I said, it is a 6-star ticket, so hopefully we'll get something good out of this one. Still plenty of money left to spend in this game, so we do need some. $1 million would be very nice, and it is on offer actually, but will we be fortunate enough to get it? We will. Oh my goodness, that is a bit of a rarity to get that one. More common in 6-star tickets, of course, but still, that is absolutely lovely. I'll take it. And we can move on to the next race. We're doing the Hypercar Parade at Autodromo de Interlagos. And for this one, we'll be turning the difficulty up to the max once again. And we've got the Jaguar XJ220 for this one, a new car added in this update. I don't really know a lot about this car, to be honest, but it's an older car, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes as we head into the Center S for the first time. Immediate impression is understeer, but that is not uncommon for these types of cars. So we'll see how it goes as we're on to the straight for the first time. The straight line speed looks pretty good as we are going to go for the move late down the inside into the Descida del Lago, and we get that move done and up one more position into P14. 7 laps to get all the overtaking done here, so we do need to make a few overtakes per lap to be able to get through into the lead, but of course it's really more about lap speed than actually making a certain number of overtakes per lap, because all the cars are different. So as we work our way through the opening lap, it feels quite slow. I mean, this is just coming off the back of Super Formula cars, so basically everything else in the game is going to feel a little bit slower through the corners when we switch to road cars after that. But nonetheless, we should hopefully be able to still generate some decent lap time on the straights and make up for it that way. So we get onto a straighter section now, and we'll see how things go as we're drifting out very wide into the barrier there. No harm done. And this is weird. Why does that car have Ferrari and the next one has Sasaki? I mean, one has the car name and one has the driver name. I thought you had to have one or the other. That's a weird one. But anyway, we're not going to worry about that. But yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that, why there's a mix. This guy's got the name as well, so yeah, I don't know what's with the Ferrari, why they don't have the driver name. Usually for these offline races I have the car names, but looks like I've got driver names on the list on the left. Just depends if I remember to switch it, really. A lot of Japanese drivers ahead of us, does have to be said, but anyway, we're not going to worry about that as we start to think about the next car up the road. We're into 11th position at the moment, and potentially thinking about getting into the top 10. We are gaining through the middle sector. We just need to find a place to make the overtake. They're a little tight on the inside line there. That'll give us a nice run, as we couldn't quite carry that momentum all the way through to the exit there, but we should be able to maybe make a move to the inside of the final corner. We'll do just that, and we'll move ourselves up into the top 10. And now I've got a whole cluster of cars in front of us as we head past the tornado shaped thing on the right there. Someone tell me what that is. I'd really like to know as we go out into the barrier there once more. And now as we head across the start line, we'll begin a new lap and make another overtake up into 9th position. We've got 3 cars in a very close proximity right in front of us, so there should be some easier overtakes coming up along the next straight as we drive it around the outside up into 8th position. And look what's in front of us now. That is a Bugatti, and we're matching it in a straight line. Down the inside though, a little bit deep. Okay, we're very deep, but we will lose that position and drop in behind once more, as we will actually, for the Bugatti, we're probably going to are quicker through the middle sector, because those things do not like corners. They don't. So we'll sneak up the inside, and we might be able to go full send here for another overtake. Not a chance. They covered that one off rather early, and we made a bit of contact, and we still can't get up the inside, so we're going to be stuck here for a moment as we carry the momentum around the outside. And we get the move done just about. We're still fighting it out side by side through the middle sector. We run all the way out into the grass there, a little bit wide, and we'll end up losing that position and dropping back into P7. So it's a great little battle here, but hopefully we'll be able to come out on top, and then we do eventually move ourselves ahead. Now that we get onto the straighter section, I think we'll be fine, but that took a little longer to get that move done. And now I'm investigating this name display, and we do have car names selected. So yeah, I've switched it for the list on the left now as well, but yeah, that's a weird one. Anyway, we focus back on the racing, because the next 2 cars are running side by side just up the road. The Bugatti Chiron just ahead of the Veneno, and we'll see if we can get involved in this little fight very soon, as it is the fight for 4th position. So making good progress in this race so far, as we are just about on to the back of these 2. Can we go full send on the Veneno? We're going to go for it. If you have a feeling we're not quite going to get this stopped, we do actually. Okay, that worked better than I anticipated, as we now have to chase down the mighty Chiron. And it does take us until the straight to actually close up to the Chiron and make that move, as we are fighting it out into the first corner, and we will just about get through ahead of the Bugatti Chiron, and we're up into 4th position now. So we're continuing to come through the field fairly quickly in this one. 3 laps to go and 3 cars left in front of us. And 3 cars will soon be less, because we have caught up to them, and 2 of them are actually the same as ours, the XJ220s, with an Aston Martin 177 in the mix as well for the race lead. But we get the move done on the first of the XJ220s, and now the Aston Martin will be the next focus. We should be able to go full send into the final corner and get this one done, or the final real corner Although you can't really say that because some of these slight corners are a bit more of a notable challenge in some of these lower downforce high speed cars. But anyway, well, we've got a lot of straight line speed there as we go zooming on through and move ourselves up into the race lead with 2 laps to go. Once again, it's worth mentioning that this car does have some upgrades on it. What exactly they are, I have long forgotten, but yeah, that's why ours may be a lot faster in a straight line than the ones the AI drivers have. But anyway, we come to the line now, and that will be the end of the race for us here at the Hypercar Parade at Interlagos. And that's that race ticked off the list. So that is the end of the new race events that have been added. However, aside from another menu book, we also have one more car that does not really have a new race event that it fits into, but we will be driving it anyway. It's the 2020 Mercedes GT3 car. So that is what we are going to be driving now. I decided to just go to my usual money grind race, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we get underway, and I'm not going to be going through every single detail of this race because we've done it before, but I'll just be showing anything that happens and talking about the car a little bit. So I might as well just start talking about the car now, as we're going through the opening phases and getting the early overtakes done. Seems fairly stable and predictable. Is probably the best part about this car. It sounds incredible as well. I love the sound of this thing. Just sounds so just deep and grunty, which is awesome. Gives you that feeling that it just has plenty of power to charge up and down the long straights here at Spa. But it's also quite good, and just like I said, very smooth and predictable through the corners. It can get a little bit snappy on exit, but if you just control the throttle even slightly, that's not too much of an issue. And yeah, it's overall probably, I'd say it's my favorite of the GT3 cars in the game. The Nissan is very good as well. I enjoy driving that, but yeah, I really like this Mercedes. It's very just smooth to drive. It's really the only way I can describe it. It just feels nice, which is what you want when you are doing an endurance style race that the GT3 cars tend to do. So yeah, I really do like this car, and that's probably really all there is to say about it. It's yeah, compared to the Supra that I usually use for this, the GT500 Supra from '97, not to be confused with the more modern. Okay, well, that's what I mean about it can be a little bit snappy on exit, and as you saw there, we had no chance of saving it. But yeah, compared to the GT500 Supra that I usually use for this, it is lacking a little bit in a straight line, which will of course affect its overall lap time around a circuit with a lot of long straights like Spa. But that's not a huge issue, and we still are more than fast enough to contend with everyone else here. So yeah, overall, really enjoy this car. What will be interesting though is both fuel economy and how it handles the wet weather potentially later in the race. We continue on to the start of lap number 8. Almost a third of the way through the race, and some weather is approaching, but what I want to make note of here is the fuel burn so far is looking very good, as is the tyre wear. So yeah, I'd say this car better fuel economy than the Supra that I usually drive. So that's something in this car's favour. Probably could go a lap or two longer per stint. Unfortunately, I don't think we are going to find out because it'll probably rain before the end of this one, which means we'll need to pit early regardless. But good fuel economy, and seems like the tyres will not be too much of an issue. And as we continue to move on, the rain begins to fall, and we are most of the way around the lap. I did actually bet against the weather for a moment, and probably did one more lap than what I ordinarily would have, but yeah, the track, as you can see on the weather indicator in the bottom left of the water level indicator, is almost up to the first mark, and as you can see on the radar in the bottom right, there is rain all around us. It's coming from the sort of east-southeast, so that's all going to come to us. We need to get to the pit lane and get some intermediate tyres on for the next stint, and we are having a world of trouble stopping here, but anyway, we'll get it into pit lane eventually, and yeah, we will get some more suitable tyres on, because that was a struggle. So we'll go on to the mediums for the next stint, and those intermediate tyres were okay, but the amount of water on the track is only increasing, and I'm wondering if it's even worth going on to the full wets, because we have some even more serious rain coming very soon, so it may be worthwhile to make that switch. But we're going to stay on the intermediates for now. I know the Supra can handle the full wet conditions on the intermediates reasonably well. It does struggle a little bit at when it's really bad, but the rain is really pouring down now. Those wipers are working overtime, so it'll be interesting to see how the traction goes. Struggling a little bit, but still drivable, which is the main thing. Definitely is a little bit more twitchy, but when the rain is like this, it's you know, just survival and trying not to crash when the conditions get like this, and then once it dries up, we go racing again. Unfortunately though, the weather does prove to be a little bit too much for these tyres in these conditions, and we go spinning, we spin, and we get going again. But yeah, it's very treacherous conditions here at Spa right now. Anyway, soon enough the track dries up, and we head back into pit lane for a set of the... Actually no, there's more rain coming. I was about to say for the slick tyres, but now I'm entirely undecided what to go for. But yeah, lucky there's more rain coming actually, because those intermediates would not want to go much further, so it's going to be very interesting to see once we leave pit lane what the weather conditions are like. So we will skip ahead, and these are the conditions we find ourselves in. A little bit more rain to come, some heavy rain in there as well, so yeah, we'll have to watch out as we continue to race along. We still maintain the lead though, so that is all good, but yeah, there's still more weather to come. But like I said, on the intermediate tyres, when the weather is you know, only moderate, this car can handle it just fine. But yeah, probably worth fitting the full wets when it gets worse. But this looks like a fairly small amount of rain in general. There'll be one downpour, but I'm not terribly concerned. And so, you know, we managed the last one all right, aside from that one big spin, which was, you know, just me finding the limits in this car more than anything. So, yeah, we should be able to just carry on to the end and bring home the win if all goes smoothly. We move on to the end of the race then, And as you can see, second and third have already crossed the line, a lap down, or essentially a lap down. Yeah, we're going to win the race by a lap, as we are struggling a little bit. Our intermediate tyres that we put on in the last stop struggling now that the track has dried up. But they'll get to the end just about, and we'll come to the line to finish this one off as we take a last quick look back before we cross the line. That rear wing is probably my biggest complaint about this car. Not that I think it looks bad or anything, it's just that when you look backwards it is right in the line of sight. You know, for when cars are behind you at a particular distance, it's a little bit tricky to see. It's quite distracting. But anyway, clean race bonus, 1.5 million credits, and a 4-star roulette ticket there, which is all very lovely. But yeah, really enjoyed driving that car. Very, very nice. So yeah, that might be my go-to GT3 car, if not the Supra GT500. But anyway, we now look to finish off the video with another menu book, and we're going to do the Alpine menu book, which interestingly includes the VGT, which I find rather curious. But anyway, congratulations, you've got all 3 cars. This completes your Alpine collection. Once you've collected your present, I've got some stories to tell you about these cars. And there we have it. Collection Alpine completed. And there is the 5-star roulette ticket. So let's see what we can learn about these cars. Also, Luca's just going to get my normal voice this time. Surely every gearhead has heard of the brand Alpine. Founded in 1950s France, which is famously known as the birthplace of motorsport, Alpine takes a unique approach to sports car design, and has long been known for its crack team of race car engineers. Jean Radel was a young man when he founded the company. At the time, while working at a Renault garage, he was also competing in races with a Renault 4CV, which he had tuned himself. Driving in his high-performance Renault, he made a splash at the Mille Miglia and other major events. In 1955, Radel established his own brand, Alpine, which takes its name from Coupe des Alpes. In 1963, Alpine officially began building race cars for Renault under the name Alpine Renault. One of the most successful sports cars to bear the Alpine name is this Alpine A110. A rear-engine compact sports car, the beauty of its design has made it a symbol for the brand. The A110's legendary status was written at international rallies. In '71, it claimed a 1-2-3 finish at Monte Carlo, and in '73 it won the inaugural World Rally Championship. Although Alpine took a backseat to Renault in sports car development throughout the 90s, the brand was revived in 2016 with the all-new A110. Apparently, this car was designed with Radel's original as a point of reference. And indeed, respect for the A110 and Alpine's history as a whole is immediately evident. And now, Alpine's legendary motorsport history and design philosophy is being marvelously expressed in the Alpine Vision Gran Turismo. Truly, this is a magnificent collection of some of France's automotive treasures. And there we have it. That was significantly easier reading that in my own voice, and I don't have a sore throat afterwards. I might just go back to reading things normally. I actually have no clue how the Luca voice thing started, to be honest. Do not remember. But anyway, we might bring him back for the final episode or something, who knows. But anyway, we have a couple of roulette tickets. We'll start with the 4-star because it's less exciting. And we get, what's that, 30k, I think? Yeah, that part? 10k, not even 30. Okay. No good. Alright, let's try the 5-star. We'll see if we have more luck with this one. And we'll see what we get. In terms of money prizes, the highest value is 100,000, but we're going to get, that is a BMW GT3 car, specifically the M3. Already got that car, but once again, we can sell it, and we should get a bit of money for it. So yeah, this one's worth 600,000. It's one of the more expensive Group 3 cars, and we can sell it for 188,000. So actually, relatively, I think that's quite low for what the car is worth. Just under a third of its actual value. Sometimes you can get up to almost half, but that doesn't matter, we're getting rid of it anyway. Yeah, that is going to do it for this one. So I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It's always very helpful. But other than that, I will see you in the next one, and goodbye.